Right, so I'm walking around collecting some cuttings, material to produce plants using cuttings. Alright, so there are several types of cuttings I can take. This one is the thyme, so I'll cut the thyme here. Alright, when you're cutting, normally when you're cutting, you cut just under a node. Right, this is a node, and just under a node you will cut. So here's where the root's going to grow out. Right, so cutting one, cut it, put it into water immediately. You don't want it drying out. Let's walk around and collect a few more cuttings. This can make a nice plant. So I'll cut it out and prepare it for placing in a propagator. Right. See if I could collect some more. Now this is a mint. This here is a mint, but it's getting overgrown. So I need to get some plants out of it. Alright, so let me take some of this. I can make several plants out of it. Okay, it's a lemon mint, but it's getting overgrown. So let me take a cutting here to make some plants out of it. I'll come back and do the rest. Put it in water immediately. And even this one, we can grow it by cuttings. I don't want to spoil my plants. I could take one here, take a cutting underneath here. Right. Right, so we collect a few more cuttings. This is a croton, and I can either air layer it or I can use cuttings. So I can probably take a cutting from here and try it out. The nodes are quite close, so if I cut it, it doesn't matter. Right? Normally when you're cutting, you cut at an angle. Afterwards, I'll prepare the cuttings for planting. And I'll go and get one more. So I can cut this. Right, this is a boundary flower, a boundary plant they call it. Good, so let's go and set these cuttings in a propagator, a makeshift propagator. Right, before we do that, let me tell you about types of wood in a plant. Now this is a woody plant, and in a woody plant, the end, like if you're taking a branch here, the end here will be soft. We call it soft wood. Here will be medium, and down here will be hard. So you have to know the type of plant and the type of wood material that you could use for cuttings. It varies from plant to plant. So normally in woody plants, that's how we explain it. Hardwood, semi-hard, soft at the end. Alright? But basically, there are two types of plant material. Those that are herbaceous and those that are woody. So you have herbaceous and woody. And in woody plants, you have softwood, medium, and hardwood. So you must know the type of plant you're using and where to get your cuttings. Some plants use hardwood cuttings, some plants use semi-hard, and some plants use softwood cuttings. Right, so I just thought I need to clear up that point. So I'm going to set these in the propagator. Alright, so this is my makeshift propagator. It is a pigtail bucket. I make sure you have holes in the bottom and at the side. I put a layer of sharp sand, and I put some red sand on top of that. So that's a medium in which the plants will send out roots. Right, so I had these here. Let's see how they're going. They were there before, not too long ago, and I'm seeing something here. So I'm ready to put this out in a little bag. All right, it has rooted. Okay, so I don't want this to dry out. I'll put it back in some water, but I'm going to remove these to make space for my other plants. So let's see, I just bundle them up together, the same mint, and they seem to be rooting. So I'll put them out into little bags and make some plants out of them. So some will die, some will, I just bundle them and drop them in there. So let's see, I'll keep them in some water, I don't want them drying out. Okay, so I had my cuttings in water. So let's see how we prepare the cuttings. Yeah, right up. So right, so this is my cutting. I don't need so many leaves in it, so I reduce the leaves by about 50%. Cut out the leaves, because this leaf, all they're going to do is carry out transpiration, and water will be lost on the cutting, and I don't want that happening. I want the plant to conserve as much water as possible, as much energy, and use that energy to produce roots. Afterwards, new shoots going to come out, and these leaves will be no longer useful. So I prepare to cut it. There's a slant here. Right? I need to put some rooting hormone there. If here is wet, it's easy to do. Right, I can dip it directly if I have enough rooting hormone in my container. I can dip it directly, so I don't have to interact with it too much, like inhale it and so on. So it's dusted with rooting hormone. Then I'm going to put it in the propagator, but I don't just stick it in. I make a little hole, because if I try to stick it in, what's going to happen is all the rooting hormone going to rub off. So I make a hole, put it in, and pull the sand around it and make sure it's firm, it doesn't fall aside. Let me try another one. This is a very easy one to root, and we talk about this stem. If you look at it, it's quite herbaceous. It's only very old part of the stem will be woody, so it's quite herbaceous, it's not woody, right? So let's prepare this part here to set down in the sand, although it doesn't really need rooting hormone, but I'll see how fast it can root, how much faster. Right, so sometimes there is no need to really cut off the leaves. If you want, you can reduce it by 50%. Leave the younger leaves, that's alright with this type of plant. It's herbaceous, as I said. Make a hole, a propagator, and you put it in. Just foam up around it a little bit, so you don't turn aside. Let's try another one. This is an interesting one. You can reduce the leaves again, make a place for it to go down in the ground in a medium. Get some rooting hormone at the cut surface there. Remember, the cut surface should be a slant. Dig a hole, put it in. Right. I can try this mint. Right. Maybe I could put some rooting hormone. It's quite easy to root, but I could try. Maybe it didn't get much. But just stick it in here and see what happens after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. These are mints. Let me try this one. I don't need to cut out leaves from this too much, because this is a slow growing plant and I need these to form the top, so I'm going to leave the leaves here. Make sure there's rooting hormone there. Dig a hole, stick it in. Right, and the final one I have here as the boundary flower, boundary plant. I could, sometimes it's not necessary in some of these to cut out all the leaves, but I will reduce it a bit. That's the tip. Don't want to damage it. Put it into some rooting hormone again. Make a hole. Stick it in. And the last step is to make sure that it is damp and placed in the proper place. Let's see where I'm going to put it. I should probably place it first because it will get a little heavy, and then I'll come back and put moisture. Now I had this on top it in case I wanted to pull up clear plastic bag, because some cuttings need a little more high humidity. So when I put a plastic bag on top here, the humidity will be higher. It will keep in the damp air. So let me show you I normally put this out of direct sunlight. I don't want it in direct sunlight. So I'll place this here. There's a shade at the top, and the house is sort of shading out the midday sun. So I'm just going to run some water there. If I need, I could just take a big large plastic bag and pull it over it if need be to keep the humidity in. And that's my propagator. There's another one that I use here for plants that I put into little pots. These are the remnants. Right, so I keep this cover to keep in the humidity. Those are in soil down there. Pro mix, that is. Right, so that's my end of propagation in plants. Right, so this is a plant that was propagated by air layering, and it's put into a bag to strengthen up.